themselves for whatever reason. Yeah, it's serious though, but that's what marriage is. It's a total commitment to each other. And that's what salvation is, a total commitment to God. But see, you can't be holding nothing back from God or else your salvation not real. You got to be willing to give up whatever he wants. And let God make your life into what he wanted to be. Let him bring in your life what he wants to be in your life. Let him take out of your life what he want to take out of your. See, you got to really give God the authority. You got to really give God the sovereignty. You got to really give God the preeminence, the lordship over your life, you know. That's really what salvation is. Oh, yeah. Let me get back to that. Having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and the virtue knowledge, and the knowledge temperance, and the temperance patience, and the patience godliness, and the godliness brotherly kindness, and the brotherly kindness charity. For if they charity, which is care for others, love. That's why they call them organizations charities. But see, you got to watch nowadays what charities you support if you're a Christian. Because these worldly charities, they got good works, but then they got evil works. They do some good things for people, but then when you really get to researching some of these organizations and agencies, you find out they support some things that God don't support. Because they got something going on in my job right now where they trying to give to the United Way. I just had a feeling about it. I said, I'm going to do some research on this. Found out they support Planned Parenthood. And then they got mad at the Boy Scouts of America because they don't allow, at first they didn't allow homosexuals in there at all. But then they let them in, but then they said they won't allow homosexual leaders, scout leaders. And then so the United Way withdrew their support of them because they didn't support homosexuality. And then it was something else kind of sketchy, saying something about them supporting terrorism. I don't know about all that. I don't remember exactly what that was, but it said something about them supporting terrorism. But, you know, you just got to be careful, man. Charities, you know, I'd rather support the church. I'd rather do what I know God want me to do. You know what I'm saying? All these charities, a lot of them is double-minded. They do some good, but then you find out they got their hand in some other stuff. Find out they got their hand in some other stuff. And one thing I want to speak on is Christians with tattoos. Now, if you got your tattoos when you was in the world, that's one thing. But one thing, the way I feel about tattoos, I remember when I was in college, we had this discussion. But I think tattoos are worldly, though. Because you can't tell me you finna get a tattoo about Jesus because you don't need a tattoo. You don't need a tattoo to show the world that you represent Jesus. Matter of fact, in John, he said Jesus, he said this life was the light of men. Talking about the life of Christ was the light of men. The life of Jesus in you is the light. That's why they say, let your light shine before men, that they might see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Your life is the light that shows the world who you living for, who you represent. You don't need a tattoo to show the world you a Christian. You see some of them, I were people I seen when I was in jail talking crazy, but they got crosses tattooed on their faces and all this kind of stuff. Jesus tattoos and all this kind of stuff. To me, tattoos are worldly. And ain't nothing wrong with Jesus on your hat and Jesus on your t-shirt, but even that, your life is the main example. Your life is the main thing. Is how you display Christ to the world, your life, your love, your lifestyle. He said, the way we love one another is how they know we his disciples. And not just loving your friends, not just loving them that love you. Even the tax collectors do that. Loving them that love you and them that hate you. Said if your enemy needs something to drink, give him something to drink. If he needs something to eat, give him something to eat. Give room unto wrath. Heap coals of fire on their head, because he say vengeance is mine. If you trying to take vengeance on your enemies, you not giving God place to deal with them. But when you love them anyway, you giving God room to deal with them in the best way. And at the end of the day, you hoping that they get saved. At the end of the day, you hoping that they come to the knowledge of salvation. Because see, when Jesus and, James and John, he said, shall we rain down fire from heaven? Jesus said, ye know not what manner of spirit ye are of. I didn't come to destroy men's lives, but that they might be saved. But every wicked work shall receive a just recompense of reward. If not in this life, in the life to come. See, I'm just going to flow. But I don't believe in no Christians getting tattoos, though. I just think it's worldly. Because that's what people in the world do. But then a lot of Christians, they not really separated from the world. Matter of fact, the church ain't even really separated from the world. The true church is, but like I say, when you really separate it from the world, I'm still talking about being in the world, but I'm talking about not being of the world, because God got a mission for you right in the world, right in the middle of a bunch of mess. If you a real one, God ain't got you hid in a corner. He ain't got you locked up in the monastery, locked up in the temple like some kind of Chinese monk. Mongolian or whatever. He got a work for you to do in the world. He gonna put you out there, but he got to teach you how to be separated from the world. You're not one of them. You're different. You can't be afraid to be different. And that's where the persecution gonna come. If you was just like them, they would receive you. If you had the same spirit they had, they would receive you. But you're different. And you gotta be glad to be different. You can't be scared to be different. You gotta be bold. You gotta be comfortable being different, see? God can't really use you if you're one of the ones who trying to fit in. You don't know how to function on your own. You don't know how to function without being a part of the crowd. They get you to compromise and go along with everything. It's a big part of the church that's scared to stand out, scared to be separate from the world. That's what got Bishop Blake in trouble. He knew what that document signed. All you got to do is do some research on these folks. It was that Faith and Human Rights document. Now, on the surface, they wasn't saying nothing about same-sex marriage and all that, but if you research it, you find out that's one of the things they represent. And then, so he signed it. He signed on for the whole Church of God in Christ. But then he want to try to come back later and be like, well, it's the Church of God in Christ. We believe the Bible and we don't support, same-sex marriage and all that kind of stuff. But see, that's double-minded. That's contradictory actions. That's like me giving money, financial donations to the mafia. But then I come back later and be like, well, I don't support murder and extortion and robbery. I'm saying I don't support it, but with my actions, I'm supporting it. See, with his actions, he supported it. But then he came back in word and said that he don't support it. That's how the trouble started. That's how the trouble started. But see, a lot of times the church want to be accepted with the world. But you can't be scared of persecution. Persecution is only right. Because the world is the devil's territory. Jesus said, the prince of this world cometh, but he has nothing in me. See, I'm in the world, but the world not in me. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. Jesus said he ain't got nothing in me. He ain't got no claim on me. He ain't got no peace, no part of my heart that's not committed to Jesus. My sex life is committed to Jesus. My finances are committed to Jesus. Yeah. Where a man's treasure is, there will his heart be also. Yeah. My time is committed to Jesus. And I don't put my blessings before the one that blessed me with them. My life is committed to Jesus. I'm on call. I'm available anytime. I know that God have a purpose in every part of my life. He got a purpose in my job. He got a purpose in me being at the church that I'm at. He got a purpose in me being on the job that I'm on. I'm talking about total commitment. Complete surrender. Yeah, we got to be different. We're not the same as the world. Persecution is only right. It's going to be some mocking. It's going to be some joking about us. It's going to be some mockery. It might even be some lying on us. It might even be some traps being set for us. Yeah. It's going to be some persecution. Because we not hiding. We in the world, but we not of the world. See, you on enemy turf. You behind enemy lines. It's only right. And if we just in the world going about our business and we ain't stirring up no devils, we not stirring up no demons, there's something wrong. That mean we ain't got nothing in us. Cause that's the devil's territory. And when we out there, he gonna detect the real one.